Hello everyone, this is Yamin, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make a user apply for a borrow book from website. So here what we'll do is that we'll have a button over here, apply to borrow, and if the user click on this button, it will send a request to the admin that a user want to borrow a book. And in order to borrow a book, a user must be logged in. So first of all, what we are going to do is that we are going to create a table for borrowing the book. So let me just go to the posing directory, and I'm going to open a command prompt here. We're going to serve here cmd, then press enter, and we're going to serve here php artisan. Then we'll say here make clone model, and let's say our model name will be borrow, borrow, bro. Let's just say this one, bro minus m. So this will create a model and migration at the same time, and the model and migration name will be bro. Let's just press enter, and there you can see model and migration created successfully. So right now, if we just go back to our code, then if we go to our app, then models, here you can see borrow.php, and if we go to our database, then migrations, here you can see that we have a table over here called bros.php. So what we are going to do is that we are going to mention the user ID and book ID over here as a foreign key, and we'll also have book status over here as well. So right now let's over here dollar table, this arrow sign, then we'll say over here foreign ID, and we're going to mention our book table name, and here you can see our book table name is like this, book, here you can see book. So when we say over here book, and then we want to get the ID as a foreign key, so we need to say over here underscore ID, and after that we need to say this constraint, constrained, constraint. We need to write this in order to say that this is the table name and this is the ID name that we want to get from the book table, and this constraint method will do that for us. And after that we'll say here again this arrow sign, we'll say on delete to first bracket to single quotation cascade, it will be on delete. And after that we'll do the same thing for the user ID as well. So let me just copy this and paste it over here, and instead of book ID we are going to say over here user underscore ID. So what it will do is that it will go to the user table, and it will take the ID as a foreign key for this book table. So after this we are going to have one more column over here, and that column name will be status. Let me just write it like this, and we are going to say over here dollar table, then this arrow sign, and we are going to say over here string to first bracket to single quotation. The column name will be status, and this column will have a default value, and the default value will be default. Let's say that default value will be rejected. Okay, so let's save this, and after that we'll go back to our command prompt, and we're going to say over here php artisan migrate. Let me just zoom in so that here you can see we'll just press enter, and there you can see migration is complete. So right now if we just go back to our database table over here, let me just refresh. Then here you can see we have a new table over here called borrow, and we have book ID, user ID, and status. So right now first of all what we do is that we need to have a pattern over here that apply to borrow. So let's go back, and we'll just directly go to our resource, then views, and inside views we have home folder. And inside home folder here you can see book.blend.php, and whatever you are seeing over here in this section is coming from the book.blend.php. So here you can see the in for each loop. Here you can see we have a div for view book details. So let me just copy this and I'm going to paste it over here. And here we're going to remove this href from here. And instead of view book details, we're going to say over here apply to borrow, or you can say apply to rent, whatever. And for this anchor tag, let's mention a bootstrap class. It will be btl, let's make it primary, and then save it. Then let me just refresh. Okay, the design is like this. So let's just do one thing, that is just go back. And here you can see the class text button. Let me just remove this class. And here I'm going to give a br tag. So we're going to say over here br like this. Then let me just save it here. Then let's refresh here again. And there you go, apply to borrow button over here like this, powering. So right now what we want is that here you can see the user is not logged in. When the user is not logged in and click on this button apply to borrow, it will take the user to the login page. So for it, let's go back, and here first of all in this HM we are going to give to second bracket first. So we give to second bracket, then we are going to say over here URL to first bracket to single quotation. Let's say the URL will be borrowed underscore books, and for the specific book we need to get the specific ID as well. Just like view details, we need to use $.id over here as well. So let me just copy this $.id, and I'm going to give a comma over here, then paste it over here $.id. So right now we're going to write a route for this. So let's go to our routes, then web.php. Then let's go down, and from here let me just copy this route. Then I'll paste it over here, and here you can see our route name is borrow underscore books. So we say here borrow underscore books. We also paste the ID from here, and we'll use the home controller, okay, and the function name will be borrow underscore books. So let's save this and let's go to our home controller. So we go to our app http controller, then home controller. So first of all, what we need to do is that we need to add the borrow model name over here. So let me just copy this, then paste it here, and the model name will be BORROW, bro. And let me just go down, and here we're going to say public function. The function name is this one, borrow underscore books. So copy, paste it here to first bracket, then to second bracket. And first of all, we'll catch the ID. So we need to say over here $ID. And after that, we are going to declare a variable. Let's say $data. First of all, here we are going to mention the book model name, since we are sending a specific book data from here. On someone click on this button, apply to borrow. So we are going to say over here book fine to first bracket. It will be $ID. So here using this $ID, we are trying to get a specific raw data for a book and storing it in this $data variable. So we are doing this because first of all, what we'll do is that in the book table, let's just go to the book table. In the book table, whenever someone ought to borrow a book, we'll check the quantity. If the quantity is higher than 1, then we'll let the user apply for a book. But if the quantity is less than 1, it means if the quantity is 0, then we will not let the user borrow the book, okay, or apply for the book. So for it, let's go back, and here what we are going to do is that we are going to say over here $quantity equal to, we are going to say over here $data, this arrow sign, and we are going to mention the quantity over here. So right now what we will do is that it will get $data, then this arrow sign, and we are going to say over here quantity. So here you can see this quantity will come from the database table. So here you can see quantity. So this will come from the database table. So right now, if I just try to print this quantity, let me just show you. If I just say over here dd to first bracket, then dollar this quantity. Let me just paste it over here and save it. Then if we just refresh over here, then click on this apply to more option. Here you can see it is showing us 10. Let me just zoom in. Here you can see it is showing us 10. So here for the book ID 4, the quantity is 10 over here in the database table. So we are about to get the book quantity in the controller. So right now what we're going to do is that let's just remove this TD over here and we'll give a if condition. If dollar quantity is greater than or equal to 1. If it's higher than 1, then we'll let the user apply for a book. Otherwise, we'll say over here else we'll give it to save condition, and from here we'll return in the user back to the same page with a message. So we say over here return redirect back with a message. So we say over here with to first bracket to single position, we say over here message, and the message will be not enough book available. Okay, so right now let's just keep it empty for now, and we need to catch this message. So in order to catch this message, what we need to do is that let's say we want to show this message over, let me just go back over here. So for it, let's go to our book.plate.php, and currently available in the market. After this div, let's say after this div, we're going to give another div, and in this div, we're going to give a if condition. We say here at the end of if to first bracket session to first bracket this arrow sign has message. If session has message, and we need to close this if condition at the end of int if. If session has message, then show me the message. So in order to show the message, we need to say over here to second bracket, then we say over here session to first bracket get, we'll get the message. We say over here message. And what we are going to do is that for this if condition, we are going to add a design over here. So we'll say over here, okay, let's just have this div inside this if condition, and closing will be over here like this. So inside this div, we are going to mention a class. Class name will be alert success. And after that, we will mention a button in order to close the message. So we say over here button, it will be, let's give a X sign over here. And for this button, we will say over here class, it will be close. Then button type will be button. Then we are going to say over here data ps space call to alert, and we are going to say over here area hidden, it will be true. So let's just save this, and right now let me just explain. So here we are just first of all finding the specific book row, then we are checking the quantity. If the quantity is greater than or equal to 1, then we'll let the user borrow a book, or else it will send us a message that not enough book available. We'll give this if condition later. Let me just save this, and let's go back to our browser. And here instead of quantity 10, let's say the quantity will be over here 0. And there you can see the quantity is right now 0. And let me just refresh over here. Okay, unexpected token, this one. Okay, let me just go back, and over here we need to keep this on inside single quotation. So over here, this is greater than sign will be before this equal sign, and we need to keep it inside this, keep on inside this single quotation. So let's save it here. Then let me just refresh again. And there you can see there is no error. And if I now click on this option button, apply to borrow, here you can see the title is Sarah Mars. For this book, quantity is 0. And if I now click on this option, apply to borrow, it is showing us a message that not enough book is available. But if I now click on this button, apply to borrow, it don't show us anything because we didn't write any code for this if condition. So right now, inside this if condition, what we are going to check first is that if the user is logged in. And in order to check it, we are going to say over here if, we are going to mention another if condition. And let me just move those. And in this if, we are going to check if there is any auth logged in user. And in order to check the logged in user, what you need to do is that, okay, let me just go to the admin controller, and here you can see use illuminate /support /auth. So we use this to check if a user is logged in or logged out. So here what we can do is that we just paste it over here, and here you can see we also have a user model. So obviously we need to have user model since we have to check the logged in user. So we need to have the user model over here as well. So right now in this if condition, we are going to say over here if auth to double prompt ID. If there is any auth ID, okay, then go to this if condition or else, let me just write the else condition, else return the user to the login page. So we are going to say over here return redirect, and we redirect the user to the login page. So right now, let me just save it, and we'll keep this if condition empty for now. Right now, let's save this. Let's go back to our browser. Let me go back, then refresh. And here you can see currently no user is logged in. And if I now click on this apply to borrow button, it will obviously first show that no enough book is available. But for this user, I mean for this book, the current available quantity is 25. So right now, if I click over here, apply to borrow, there you can see it took us to the login page so that we can log in. So right now, let's go back to our code. And here in this if auth ID, what we're going to do is that we're going to get the logged in user ID. So in order to do that, we need to say over here dollar, let's say user. This is just a variable equal to, it will be, we're going to say over here auth double clone user to first bracket this arrow sign ID. So what this will do is that it will get the logged in user ID if there is any logged in user and store it in this user variable. And after it, here you can see that we are already getting the ID from here. And here you can see $ID which we are sending, let me just show you, which we are sending from here. Here you can see we are sending this ID over here. So let me just declare a variable over here. Let's say $book underscore ID equal to, we'll say over here $ID. So here what we are doing is that we are getting the book ID. Let me just go to the borrow table. So here you can see we have the book underscore ID and user underscore ID, and we have both book ID and user ID over here. So right now we can just save those data. So here what we need to do first is that let's declare a variable, let's say $borrow. This is just a variable, and after it we are going to mention the borrow model name. This borrow model name. So we are going to say over here borrow, and we are going to say over here new borrow. And after that, what we'll do is that we say over here borrow this arrow sign, and we're going to get the user ID. Okay, let me just make over here user underscore ID so that it makes more sense for you to understand that we are getting the user ID over here. So right now, first of all, what we do is that for this borrow, we have over here book underscore ID. So we are going to say over here book underscore ID. Then we'll give an equal sign, and here we are storing the ID in this book underscore ID variable. So let me just copy this, then paste it over here. And after it, we're going to say over here dollar borrow, this arrow sign, it will be user underscore ID. And this user underscore ID will come from the database table. After that, we'll give the equal sign, then we'll mention this dollar ID over here. And just like before, over here, we mention over here the default value will be rejected for status. So we do not have to mention this over here. So we can just say over here dollar borrow, this arrow sign, save. And after storing the data, we'll return the user back to the same page with a message. So let me just copy this return redirect, Control C and Control V, and we're going to say over here a request is sent to admin to borrow this book. So let's just save it and let's go back to our browser. Then let's just refresh over here. But before I do anything, let me just explain it again. First of all, we are getting the ID. Okay, let's go and go to the book.blade.php. So first of all, whenever someone click on this apply to borrow button, it is getting the book ID and calling this URL, and this URL will call this home controller with the ID, and it will call this borrow books function. And our borrow books function, first of all, will get the specific ID from the book table. It will find the specific row for that ID. Then we are storing the book ID in this variable. We are storing the ID in this book underscore ID variable. And after that, what we are doing is that we are checking the quantity that we have for that specific book. And if the quantity is higher than 1, okay, that's fine. Higher than 1 or equal to 1, that's fine. Then it will check if the user is logged in. If the user is logged in, only then it will store the book. Otherwise, it will send the user to the login page. And if the quantity is lower than 0, then it will send the user a message that not enough book available. So I hope you are clear over here. So let's save. Let's go back. Refresh, and currently I am not logged in. So right now, if I now let's choose this book. If I now click over here, apply to borrow, it will send me to the login page. So let's log in. Let's keep the password over here. Click login, and there it is. I am logged in. So right now, let me just go down and let's try to borrow this book. Let's click over here, apply to borrow, and there you go. A request is sent to admin to borrow the book. If you want, you can show the message over here as well, but I think over here is fine. So right now, if I just refresh my database table, in this borrow database table, there you can see we have a book ID which is 7, user ID is on, and status for now is rejected. Okay, instead of rejected, the default value should be, I think, not approved would be better, but I already mentioned it in the database table. So right now, let's just do one thing, and that is here we're going to say dollar borrow, this arrow sign, status, and at the beginning the status will be applied. Okay, so let's save it again. Then let's go back and let me just delete this. And let me just delete this row from here. Then let me refresh, and let's try to borrow this book, apply to borrow. And there you can see a request is sent to admin to borrow the book. Okay, let's just show the message over here. I think that will be better. So let me just go to the book.blade.php. Let me just cut this session message from here, Control X, and we'll go to our header.blade.php, and after this register option, let's go to our main banner.blade.php, and after this, before this, at the beginning, let's just add the message over here, save it, then refresh. Let's add this book, and it is showing us a message that a request is sent to borrow this book to the admin. Let's show this message over. Okay, let's show this message properly. So okay, let's just paste this message over here in the main banner.blade.php. After this div class row, we just paste the message over here. I mean the session message, save it, and let's go back, refresh. Then we'll choose this book, apply to borrow, and here you can see a request is sent to admin to borrow that book. Okay, let me just do one thing, that is let's have this close button after the message. Save, refresh, borrow this book, and we have the close button over here. Okay, that's fine. So if we click it, it can close the message. So right now, if we just refresh our database table, there you can see status applied for all of those, and we are able to see the different book ID and user ID is same, because same user tried to borrow the book. So we are about to let the user borrow the book from the website. So right now in the next tutorial, what we will do is that we let the admin accept or reject the request from the user. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any question, just let me know in the comment section. I'll try to reply you as soon as possible. Make sure to subscribe. I'll really appreciate that, and I hope to see you in the future tutorial.